All right, this video is going to be going over various propaganda techniques. This is in relation to Animal Farm, the novel by George Orwell. These techniques are going to be seen within the pages of the book, and it's going to be much easier to understand what's going on and the motives of different characters if we cover these techniques beforehand. So here we go. So to review, propaganda, it's the spreading of ideas, info, rumors. Really, you're trying to convince or persuade people to believe something, okay? And this can happen in videos, a speech, or audio, images, like a poster, really anything that spreads information. So it's a very vast concept, all right? But it's the idea of trying to get other people to think like you or believe something, cause, institution, believe in a person, whatever it may be, okay? It's going to become much more clear here in a minute. So there are various kinds we are going to talk about today. The 8 that we're going to highlight: appeal to fear, bandwagon, black and white fallacy, name calling, scapegoating, plain folks, glittering generalities, and gaslighting. So there really are 8 different kinds we're going to focus on, and these are the names of them. We'll get into the specifics. Appeal to fear. Quite simply, it appeals to fear, all right? You're basing that off of an emotion. You are trying to get support for your idea by making people nervous, anxious. You're trying to make other people panic, all right? And that panic is going to lead them to believe you. If you can get them emotional, you have a better chance of getting them vulnerable and having them believe you, like, hey, I have the solution here. Like, believe in me to help fix this problem, all right? So let's watch this video right here. Former President Bush.
The majority of the American people trusted the president, and why shouldn't they? He had spent the better part of the last year giving them every reason why we should invade Iraq.
Saddam Hussein has gone to elaborate lengths, spent enormous sums, taken great risks to build and keep weapons of mass destruction.
Saddam Hussein is determined to get his hands on a nuclear bomb.
Nuclear weapon. Nuclear weapon. Nuclear weapon.
Active chemical munitions bunkers, mobile production facilities.
We know he's got chemical weapons. He's got them. He's got them. He's got them.
He's got them. All right, so nuclear weapons, mass destruction. These are terms that can scare people. The idea of this destruction is frightening because your everyday life can change as a result of this. So President Bush here was using appeal to fear. He was trying to convince everyone that this scary thing needs to be taken care of, so let him go to war. Support the war on Iraq so we can get rid of this thing that's scary, all right? So kind of a cause and effect. Here's a problem that's something that's scary. I'll fix it by doing this. Not necessarily connected. His war doesn't mean that these things will go away, but he's connecting these ideas in your head to get support. So we see President Bush, we see all those weapons of mass destruction, and we see how he's trying to scare people to gain their support. The next kind of propaganda is called bandwagon, right? Probably heard this before when you're talking about a sports team. Someone jumps on the bandwagon once a team gets good, but when the team is bad, they don't show any support. This is very similar. So it encourages you to think that because everyone else is doing it, wow, everyone likes this team because they're really good, so I need to like them too. It's kind of like the jump off the bridge saying that your parents might say. If everyone jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? It's like peer pressure, all right? You'll be left out if you don't do this. So let's watch this one from AT&T, a commercial.
Hey, everyone's eating tacos outside Bill's office. Don't you think that's some information I would like to know? I like tacos. You invited Eric? I thought Eric gave you the creeps. Oh. Yeah. Hey.
Don't be left behind. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, is getting faster with 4G.
I like tacos. Yeah, me too. So what's this commercial telling you? How's this bandwagoning? Well, everyone had AT&T, so they had fast service and knew about it right away. And this guy here didn't. He had a bad service, So he made himself look like a jerk by having this outburst, right? He got left out, the big part of the bandwagoning here. Everyone else got this. Why didn't I? I'm left out. I'm upset. Commercial shows everyone has fast service. He needs faster service or he's going to be left behind. So he needs to jump on the AT&T bandwagon, all right, so he can get that service. And so he's not left behind. He's not different, all right? Next, we have black and white fallacy, all right? So obviously, two choices, black, white, no gray area, nothing in between here, okay? You have two options, and that's it. You're either for something or you're against it. You either choose choice A or you choose choice B. You go left or you go right, but you can't go both, all right? No middle ground, no gray area. You mix white and black to get gray, right? No mixing here. It's all or nothing, one or the other. So let's watch this one from an old TV show.
I'm the only good one.
Do you think you and Mommy did a good job raising me?
Of course we did.
Well, then you obviously taught me right from wrong.
True.
And you should trust me to do the right thing.
Wait.
Or you're a bad father. Take your pick.
Man, you're good.
All right, so the daughter here in this case is using black and white fallacy. You either trust me or you're a bad father. You trust me to do the right thing because you've taught me well, or you're a bad father. One or the other. So what's it going to be? Are you going to let me make my own choices, or are you going to admit that you're a bad parent? All right? Two choices. Trust or you're terrible. No middle ground. This isn't necessarily true. He could be a good parent, but not necessarily trust her to make the right decisions yet, okay? Or he could trust her and she could still make a bad choice. That doesn't mean he's a bad parent. So just because you have two options doesn't mean that's actually true, all right? That's important, all right? Black and white fallacy, two options, not necessarily true, but you're only given two choices. You have to pick. There's no mixing. There's no in between. Next, we have name calling. So this, I mean, everyone's familiar with this. Think of the playground, right? Consists of attaching a negative label to a person, to a thing, to an idea. Rather than explain what they believe in, they're just going to try and tear their opponent down. Oh, you like so-and-so? So-and-so stinks. You're really going to support someone who stinks, all right? That's not logical. You're just saying that. Why? Why are they not good? Instead of explaining, you're just trying to put a negative connotation with that idea, okay? So like, same thing, we've seen it on the playground. You're calling someone a name, it makes others think negatively about them, all right? Also called ad hominem. That's the Latin version of name calling, but name calling is a much simpler way to think of it. Let's watch this video here about some nicknames, okay?
I love running against Crooked Hillary. I love that. I've been so much. You know, Lion Ted. We call him Lion Ted. Lion Ted. Sloppy Steve brought him into the White House quite a bit, and it was one of those things. That's why Sloppy Steve is now looking for a job. But, you know, this poor, pathetic, low-energy guy, he gets up, and he does a commercial that Hillary. So I'm looking at little Marco, and I say, man, there's something happening with him. And he's like melting. Little rocket man, rocket fuel for the. We will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself. We have Lion Ted Cruz. I have to be honest. These people that I'm dealing with are the worst people. Well, the failing New York Times wrote a big, long front page story yesterday. And it was very much, although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. She's back there. Little Katie. She's back there. That Hillary, as I say, crooked Hillary. Oh, she's as crooked as they come, folks. Just take a look. Crooked Hillary Clinton. We're going to get rid of that crooked woman. She's a crooked woman. She's a very, very dishonest woman.
Okay, so here's a really good real-life example of this, right? So it's not just on the playground. Adults do it too, and people do this to control the way you think about things as well. Are you going to try and trust someone that's lying or that's little or that's crooked? No, you're going to trust me because these people have these negative things about them. And I've said that. So we don't really see an explanation for why these people earned these names. They just get called that. It's bad, and we move on. So you're not really addressing the problem of, for example, like why Hillary is crooked or why she wouldn't be good for the job, right? We're just saying, oh, she's crooked. And you give that negative idea to people, and some people will take that and run with it, okay? So he created nicknames for his opponents. And oftentimes you heard cheers, right? Like crowd mentality, right? It just takes one person to light that match and then the whole fire starts. So oftentimes name calling is very effective, especially when you're in front of a big group, because people aren't going to want to stand up to that. People are going to back down from that. And it's going to make people feel better too, unfortunately. Scapegoating is another one we're probably familiar with. Maybe not the term, but the idea. So you're blaming an individual or a group, and you're distracting attention from the responsible people. So basically, you're blaming someone who did not cause the problem, all right? You're distracting from the real issues here by just placing blame on somebody else. My favorite scapegoating is Cub fans, right? For the longest time, they didn't win the World Series, and they were cursed, all right? The Billy Goat curse. Someone brought a goat into a game back in the early 1900s, and they kicked the guy out for bringing a wild animal into the game, and he put a curse, in air quotes, a curse on the team. And you're not going to win for 100 years because you did this to me. They didn't win for 100 years, but that's not the reason. We're just assigning blame to this legend instead of pointing out the actual problem. Well, like the front office didn't put good players on the field, or the players didn't perform. So instead of calling out the people who are really the problem here, we're just blaming someone else because it's easy, all right? So we can see an example of that here in this video.
Understand who Donald Trump is as a man. I need to know that you will make us feel safe and you will make us feel proud.
I think I have a bigger heart than all of them. I think I'm much more competent than all of them. When you talk about George Bush, I mean, say what you want. The World Trade Center came down during his time. If you look
Hold
at
on,
Sandy Hook,
you can't blame George Bush for that.
He was president, okay? Don't blame him or don't blame him, but he was president. The World Trade Center came down during his reign.
Okay, so in this one, we're referencing the terrorist attacks on 9/11, 2001, where terrorists flew into the World Trade Center, the towers in New York City. And in this instance, Donald Trump is scapegoating President Bush, all right? So the problem here was the attacks, right? That's the issue at hand. And instead of blaming the real causes of that war, issues in the Middle East, poor relations between the country and those in the Middle East, some radical groups. There's many legitimate issues, but here Trump is scapegoating Bush by saying, well, he was president, so it's his fault, right? That's not rational. Sometimes, even if you're in a position of power, there are things that are out of your control, right? What could he have done to stop those people? So he's scapegoating Bush here by saying 9/11, this was his fault, when that's not necessarily the case. He's blaming someone for something they didn't do. So we see that here. Blames one man for something others are responsible for. He was not the one who did that. Another group of people caused that to happen. Plain folks, this is always a fun one, all right? So we just see, regular Joe here with his cattle. He's just like you or me. I'm normal. I understand your problems because I'm just like you, okay? I'm just a regular person. So it idealizes the everyday person. Lots of people think of themselves as just normal. I'm just a regular person going about my life, and that's what this type of propaganda tries to do. I'm just like you. We're both normal. I understand the problems of a normal person like you because those are my problems too. So I'm going to try and fix them, okay? Thinking of that from a political standpoint. So let's see this from Senator Chuck Grassley.
He's kind of a big deal in Washington, but it never went to his head. He knows where he came from. Born on a farm. Years of farming by day, factory work by night. Twice he opened his pay envelope to find a pink slip. Laid off and worrying about taking care of his family. He's traded the factory floor for the Senate floor, but still lives on a farm. Still shows up for work every day. Best attendance in the Senate. Every county, every year, listening to Iowans. He's never been to the Congressional Country Club, but he can find every Dairy Queen in Iowa. It's the work ethic of the farm, the factory of Iowa. Our Senator Chuck Grassley, named the hardest working senator, but still mows his own lawn.
I'm Chuck Grassley, and I approve this message.
Oh, Chuck Grassley, he's just like you. He loves Dairy Queen. He mows the lawn. He got laid off. I'm just like you. I understand you and your problems, so you should vote for me because we're the same. And if we're the same, that means I'm going to represent you and your problems, and I'm going to make life better for you. That's what he's trying to say here. But is that true? It's hard to say. I mean, maybe we have some similarities, but that doesn't mean that we're the same, right? He knows what it's like to grow up in Iowa. This is an actual senator from Iowa. So yeah, I live close to you. I live among you. I like the same stuff that you do. I have the same difficulties you do. I got to fit time to mow my lawn and all this. And I'm a hard worker. I got laid off. I worked at night. I worked 2 jobs. I like simple things. I'm going to take all these things that you and I do, and I'm going to bring that to DC, and I'm going to make changes for us. That's what he's saying here, okay? He's trying to get you to like him because he needs your support, and you should like me because we're so similar. In reality, who knows? Who knows if he actually does that stuff? He's really playing it up here, okay? He mows his own lawn, just like you. We're plain folks. All right, we're starting to get to the end of our propaganda types here. Now we have glittering generalities, all right? So some alliteration, double G. So this is going to appeal to your emotions by idealizing something. So it's making something seem so great. It's making you really happy, all right? Even though there's really no reason behind it. It's just like, hey, this is going to make you really happy. Look, it made these people happy. So it's going to make you happy. You don't know me. How do you know it's going to make me happy, all right? So look, ooh, shiny, right? Oh, man, that's shiny. That's going to be nice. Why? Let's look at McDonald's here.
We're America's favorite, #1.
Where else could you have so much fun?
It's just one place you can go where it's fun to eat and talk and laugh and still get some change back. We're smiling at McDonald's, taking pride in what we do. That's why 11 million times a day we get to say thank you. Fast, fresh, always fun. Thanks for making us #1. We did together. McDonald's and you.
Wow, doesn't that make you want to go get McDonald's? Maybe not. What's this saying here? Wow, McDonald's makes all these people so happy. They're singing, they're dancing, they're eating McDonald's. The workers are happy. The food is great. What McDonald's is that? I need to go to that one because that definitely isn't always my experience. McDonald's presents itself as a happy place. Everyone gets along. Everyone's happy. Well, in the commercial, but is that going to be your experience? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. There's no guarantee. But do you see what we're getting at here? They're making it look better than it is, essentially. It's going to make you happy, all right? Trust us. Makes you feel good, all right? There's really we can't really explain why, but look, it makes these people happy. So why wouldn't you be happy here? And then our final one, we have gaslighting, all right? This is a tactic used to gain power by making someone question their own sanity or reality. So you're just going to deny evidence, deny, even when it's really obviously true. You're just going to say that the evidence is wrong, okay? You have no reason for it. You just disagree, even though you can't really disagree with facts. That's what this does. Trying to convince people, like, you believe this? Why? Like, this isn't real, okay? So which crowd is bigger, left or right? I'm not a math teacher, but the left one looks like there's probably a bit more people to count than the one on the right, okay? So let's listen to this, knowing that, looking back at those pictures, this guy's talking about those pictures. Oops.
Photographs of the inaugural proceedings were intentionally framed in a way, in one particular tweet, to minimize the enormous support that had gathered on the National Mall. This was the first time in our nation's history that floor coverings have been used to protect the grass in the mall. That had the effect of highlighting any areas where people were not standing, while in years past, the grass eliminated this visual. This was also the first time that fencing and magnetometers went as far back on the wall, preventing hundreds of thousands of people from being able to access the mall as quickly as they had in inaugurations past. Inaccurate numbers involving crowd size were also tweeted. No one had numbers because the National Park Service, which controls the National Mall, does not put any out. This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe. Even the New York Times printed a photograph showing that a misrepresentation of the crowd in the original tweet in their paper, which showed the full extent of the support, depth, and crowd and intensity that existed. These attempts to lessen the enthusiasm of the inauguration are shameful and wrong.
All right, shameful and wrong. Here's all the reasons this isn't true. I'm sorry, but I can't believe that, okay? And the numbers don't really matter to me, but you get the point. This is bigger than this. Can't you see? Oh, you can't? What do you mean you can't see this? You can't understand the difference here? Well, here's 3 reasons why this one looks worse. Because of these coverings. No one took numbers. Did I tell you that? No one took numbers. So who's to say that one had more than the other? But this is the biggest, okay? So they're trying to get you to question things that are very obviously true. And they really have no evidence to support the disagreement or the questioning of this other than just it's wrong, okay? So this is gaslighting. Some people see, I believe, gold and white. At least that's what I see. And some people see black and jade, I think. So which one do you see? Well, why can't you see that? No, it's this color. Can't you see? It's this color. Can't you see the white and gold? That's what it's like. You're just getting pressured to think something because of all these questions. And it's like, what? What do you mean? This is so clearly this. But no, it's not. All right? It's like a very defensive way of propaganda. Say something that seems so unbelievable, it's hard to imagine that they believe it. Continues to make the press question their reality by denying the evidence. So deny, 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 and then question, all right? Alternative facts, alternative reality. That's the idea behind gaslighting. So let's watch one commercial at the end, and we'll decide which one it is.
When we asked Reebok to send us Terry Tate, some people thought we were crazy. But I'm a firm believer in paradigm breaking, outside the box thinking. Hey, buddy.
Break was over 15 minutes ago, Mitch!
And since Terry's been with us, our productivity has gone up 46%. We're getting more from our employees than ever before.
You know you need a cover sheet on your TPS reports, Richard. That ain't new, baby. Hey, Janice.
But what's really impressed me is how Terry's become part of the Felcher family.
Get high, baby.
He fits right in here.
That's a long-distance call, Doug.
To be honest, I wish Reebok sent us 10 Terry Tates.
You want to play games, Gene? Well, when it's game time, it's pain time, baby. Wow!
Woot woot, all right? So if you need to pause this video for a second to go back and think about the different types of propaganda that we've covered, go ahead. But I want you to think, Which form is this? What is this trying to accomplish? So let's take a look. Well, there's an argument for a couple here, all right? Bandwagon. Well, there's different ways to look at it. Let's go through all of them here. So if you wear Reebok, you saw Terry Tate's Reebok shirt, you can be more productive, right? Like, hey, get on this Reebok bandwagon. You'll be big, strong, you can intimidate people, wear Reebok, okay? So kind of jump on that bandwagon. Also, like, hey, everyone else here is being productive and you're being called out. You're being left behind. Get on the productive bandwagon, okay? Otherwise, Terry's going to get you. Also fear, all right? You need to be productive or Terry's going to get you, all right? You're going to fear the consequences, like getting tackled by Terry if you're not productive. So there's a couple different ways to look at it, but depending on your explanation, it's all good. All right, so that is it. We covered the 8 different types of propaganda today. Remember, we are going to be seeing these pop up in Animal Farm, all right? There's a reason that we're reviewing these. Go back to your notes, review the different kinds. We'll talk about them as we see them in the book, but now that we've gone through them, it should be easier to identify them. And the biggest thing that you can do going forward is to ask yourself when you see one of these, why is this being used? What is this form of propaganda accomplishing? Why are they doing this? Okay. Thanks for watching. Great job. And talk to you soon.